the book. And the third thing that I want to speak about as well is the importance of manners and etiquettes. So three things inshallah ta'ala we're going to do. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about the author himself, Abu Ishaq al-Ilbiri. The second thing is we're going to talk about the book. And the third thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to speak about the issue of manners and akhlaq and adab. This kitab, it's written by Abu Ishaq al-Ilbiri rahimahullah. The author's name is Ishaq ibn Ibrahim. Ishaq ibn Ibrahim ibn Musa ibn Sa'id al-Tujibi al-Gharnati al-Ilbiri al-Andalusi. So his name is Ibrahim ibn Sa'id. Sorry, Ibrahim ibn Mas'ud. Ibrahim ibn Mas'ud ibn Sa'id al-Tujibi al-Gharnati al-Ilbiri. We all know Gharnata, right? Gharnata was today modern. Gharnata falls under Andalus. And Andalus, it's Spain and Portugal together. Gharnata was one of the leading cities of Andalus. So Abu Ishaq al-Ilbiri, he left from another place in Andalus called Ilbir, and he went to where? To Gharnata. Because Ilbira got destroyed, and so he moved to Gharnata. Not many scholars have written his biography. Not much has been written about him. Al-Imam al-Qadi Iyad, he spoke about him in his kitab Tartib al-Madarik wa Taqrib al-Masalik li ma'rifati a'lami madhhab Malik. And he considered him to be from the 10th level, 10th stage. And he referred to him as faqihan mu'azziman fi waqtihi. He said he was a faqih, a jurist, and a person who was respected and honored at his time. Good. The same with Ibn al-Abar. Ibn al-Abar. He spoke about Abu Ishaq al-Ilbiri not much in his kitab Takmilatul Silah. He referred to him as a zahid, aesthetic person, abid, a worshipper, and that he's from Ahlul Ilmi wal Amal. And he said that he has وَأَنَّهُ شَاعِرٌ مُجَوَّد. He was a poet. His poetry was elite and high. The same was mentioned by al-Dabbi. Al-Dabbi has a kitab called Bughyatul Multamis fi Tarikh Rijal Ahl Andalus, and he spoke about him in there as well. Also, Ibn Sa'd al-Maghribi, he spoke about him in his kitab Al-Mughrib fi Huri al-Maghrib. All of those, they wrote 1 or 2 or 3 lines about him. But the year he was born was 375 Hijriya, which is in the Gregorian calendar 985, the Gregorian calendar. And he died, rahimahullah, 459 Hijriya, which calculates to the Gregorian calendar 1067. So he passed 60 years of age, rahimahullah ta'ala. He passed 60 plus, rahimahullah. And one of his teachers that he took knowledge from was Ibn Zamanain. Anyone here know Ibn Zamanain? Ibn Zamanain is Imam Maliki, was an Aqidah book, Kitab al-Mu'taqad. So that helps us in a way because it shows that his poetry, what you sense from it is, even though there was heart softening, and it's mawa'id, reminders, and it's wasaya, advices, he doesn't say things which are obscure, things which are out of the realm of the mainstream, the mu'taqad of Ahlul Sunnah. No. What he says, it goes in line with the Kitab and the Sunnah. Even that though this Imam, not much is mentioned about him, and his biography is not written in depth, it shows you that when you do something with sincerity, Allah will make it spread. And Allah will allow it, subhanahu wa ta'ala, to reach all over the world. As for this book, this is a book written about reminder. It's a heart softening. And so, I'm going to give you, inshaAllah ta'ala, a breakdown of the book. Write this down, inshaAllah ta'ala, it'll help you. From line 1 to line 5, Abu Ishaq al-Biri talks about the person not busying himself with this dunya, or the concept of busying one himself, or if a person chooses to busy himself about the dunya and forgets that death, he talks about it there. So in the first line to the 5th line, he talks about the concept of busying oneself with the death and the akhirah, and how you busying yourself with this dunya will not get rid of the inevitable that's going to happen. You're going to die and death is coming your way, and how every day of your life you're getting closer to your grave. One of the great scholars used to say, why does one celebrate his birthday? Why would you celebrate your birthday? When in reality, it makes more sense to cry on your birthday, because you're getting closer to your what? Death. It's days that have a year that's reduced from your existence in this world. Are we all together? The 6th to the 7th line, he talks about urging the person, encouraging the person to seek beneficial Islamic knowledge, to seek beneficial knowledge. He encourages al-hathu ala talab al-ilm al-nafi'. Number 8 to number 18, he talks about the station of knowledge, the level, the position, manzilatul ilm, the position of knowledge. And he talks about halawatu, the sweetness of knowledge, and how sweet knowledge is. From 19 to 31, 19 to 31, he talks about the responsibility that comes after attaining knowledge. What's the responsibility on you after you've attained knowledge? And he also talks about in that place ignorance. He talks about it. From 32 to 45, he compares knowledge with wealth. He contrasts knowledge with wealth, how they are towards one another. 46 to 55, he warns you from the dunya and its desires. He warns you from the dunya and desires in general. From 56. So what did I say? 46 to what? 55, right? Yeah? To 55, right? So 56 to 61, he talks about أسباب توفيق الله للعبد, the reasons that Allah will give a person the ability to do good. and the ways which Allah gives subhanahu wa ta'ala a person the ability to achieve good. From line 62 to 74, he talks about hastening in repentance. الدعوة إلى تعجيل التوبة. Hasten to repentance. والاعتبار بنذير الشيب. And to take the white hair that enters the grey hair that you receive and that you gain, to take it as a reminder. And not to take it lightly. Not by saying, oh, it's just a bit of stress, here and there from work. That's fooling yourself. My older brother doesn't have it, it's just stress. This is really not age. No, it's age. You're coming to an end. If you take it like that, then you will benefit from your time. 75 to 87. He rebukes the nafs. He talks about the nafs and how evil it is. And he talks about the day of judgment and the accountability of the day of judgment. 88 to 90. 88 to 90. So 75, right, was before, to 87, right? He spoke about what? Damud nafs, rebuking the nafs, and the day of judgment, and al-ba'th, and al-jaza, and al-hisab. He talks about that. 88, he talks about at-tawadu, humility, humbleness, and recognizing wal-i'tirafu bid-dhunub, recognizing your sins, not to give yourself excuses. Recognition of your sins and your wrongdoing, and where it's all going wrong. 91 to 95. He talks about sins and its evil effects. And he also urges you to obey Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala and the benefits in it. So he talks about sins and their evil effects, and he talks about the opposite, which is obedience and its benefits. From 96 to the ending of the Qasidah, which is 115, he talks about nasa'ih akhlaqiyah. He mentions issues of matters, random matters, issues here and there. He talks about rufaqa is-su, bad friends. He talks about turning away from the ignorant people. C. He also talks about the issue of oppression and oppressing other people. He also talks about benefiting from your journeys and when you travel, taking lessons from what you see. And he also talks about in there ad-da'watu ila zuhd, asceticism. So this is nasa'ih akhlaqiyah, general etiquettes that a person needs. That's the breakdown of the book. This is what the book talks about. So it's a book for everybody, right? Now I'm going to talk about the last thing before we start the explanation of the book, and that is the importance of akhlaq and manners, and how important it is. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith, alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, the Prophet ﷺ said, bu'ithtu, I was sent out, li'utammima makarim al-akhlaq. I was sent out to complete the people's manners. To complete it. That's why I was sent. Nabi Muhammad is saying this. وَلِذَلِكَ, the greatest form of su'ul akhlaq is to say Allah has a son. Is to say Allah has a son. Bad manners with Allah Azza wa Jalla. Or to equal anyone or anything to Allah Azza wa Jalla. That is the greatest Greatest form of what? Bad manners. Bad akhlaq. Are we all together? So if you put tawheed under akhlaq, then you understand akhlaq is very big then. That's why the messenger meant when he said, بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ, I was sent to perfect the etiquettes and the manners. Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, rahimahullah ta'ala, أُطْلُبُ الْأَدَبَ, go and seek manners. So manners is something you seek. Go and seek it. فَإِنَّهُ زِيَادَةٌ فِي الْعَقْلِ, because it increases in your aql. Your aql increases when you learn manners. وَدَلِيلٌ عَلَى الْمُرُوءَةِ, and it also indicates a person's morality. A person's muru'ah, his integrity. وَمُؤْنَسٌ فِي الْوُحْدَةِ, when you're alone, good manners is the best friend that you can have. Because you're going to come with patience, right? And endurance. It's the best friend to have when you're alone. وَصَاحِبٌ فِي الْغُرْبَةِ, and when you're a stranger in a land, the best thing to have is good manners, because that's the way you can make friends, right? وَمَالٌ عِنْدَ الْقِلَّةِ, and it is wealth when you have little. Over the years, I've traveled to different countries in the world, and I've met many different people. And one thing I realized and I learned was, many people don't remember the book I taught and the lesson I covered, but they remember the way I dealt with them. I've asked many of them, I said, what was the book I taught last year when I came to you guys in that country? They said, we don't remember what book you covered. And to be honest, we don't remember what you said. But they do remember after what I said to them, and how I dealt with them. So the akhlaq and the adab sticks with the people more than the dalil, more than what you say. وَلِذَلِكَ, listen to this. The students of Imam Ahmad, you know what they said? They said, one of the students of Imam Ahmad said, مَا كَتَبْتُ سَوْدَاءَ عَلَى بَيْضَاءَ, I never wrote anything on a paper, إِلَّا أَنِّي أَنظُرُ إِلَى أَدَبِ أَحْمَدٍ, except that I was just looking at the etiquettes of Imam Ahmad. 30,000, they said, people used to come to the gathering of Imam Ahmad not to write anything from his knowledge. They didn't go there to seek knowledge from him. They didn't go there to take from his deen, Islamic knowledge. They went there just to see how he carries himself, how he walks, how he talks. Rahimahullahu ta'ala. So manners is very important. Al-Imam Malik, he said, كانت أمي تعممني. Al-Imam Malik, he said, my mother would place an imama on my head. She would put an imama on my head as a young kid. Meaning she would dress him like a scholar, like a student of knowledge. She wants to set him apart. And then she will say to him, idhab, go. فَخُذْ مِنْ أَدَبِ رَبِيعَةٍ, go and take from the manners and the etiquettes of Rabi'ah ibn Abd al-Rahman, Rabi'ah al-Ra'i. Go and take from his manners. What? قَبْلَ عِلْمِي, before his knowledge. Before you go and you take his knowledge, go and take his adab and his etiquettes and his akhlaq. And that's the reality. Abdullah ibn Salam, who was a Jew, he took Islam through what? Before the Prophet even said anything, he said, when I came to the city of Medina, everybody ran to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They all wanted to see him. وَكُنْتُ مَنْ انْجَفَلَ إِلَيْهِ, and I was from the people that ran to him. When I saw him from far and I gazed at him, he said, I realized this man is not a liar. Okay. Truth. I looked at him and I knew he was a liar. Nabi Muhammad didn't say anything yet. Are we all together, brothers? So people, they look at you and your akhlaq and your adab. So it's very important that a person studies books of manners and etiquettes. The best book that I know for akhlaq, for manners, that's written is a kitab called Manzumat ibn Abd al-Qawi al-Mardawi. It's a poetry book. It's منظومة ابن عبد القوي المرداوي. Okay? منظومة written by عبد القوي المرداوي. And there's a 5 or 6 volumes explanation on it. 5 or 6 volumes explanation on it by Al-Imam Safarini rahimahullah. He called it غذاء الألباب. That book talks about manners and akhlaq greatly. There's another kitab that you should also read, is the kitab Al-Jami' li akhlaq al-Rawi wa adab al-Sami'. But the reason why I don't go for that one, and I gave the other book, Manzumatul Adab by Ibn Abd al-Qawi al-Mardawi, is it's a comprehensive book for a student of knowledge and other than a student of knowledge. Whereas the kitab Jami' li akhlaq al-Rawi wa adab al-Sami' is more for a student of knowledge, even though there are many issues that are related to any and everybody. So a person has to study these books because the person will learn how to carry himself and how to be. Now, which one? The kitab Jami' li akhlaq al-Rawi wa adab al-Sami' by Ibn Jama'ah. The biggest book written in adab is Al-Adab al-Shar'iyya by Ibn Muflih. It's a 5-6 volume book as well. It's called Adab al-Shar'iyya by Ibn Muflih. So I would have quoted from those books a lot, and I would have used good explanation, but I have to finish this whole book in one day. So this is not going to be a sharah. It's just going to be ta'liqat, points here and there. Are we all together? It's not going to be explanation. And you know, brothers, if you look back at our parents and their parents, you might find a lot of them don't have no knowledge of the deen, but they had akhlaq. Are we all together? Akhlaq, adab, the way they carry themselves. You see, you have to understand this point. Things that, subhanAllah, today people who have knowledge, who should have knowledge, who claim to have knowledge, things that they do, and Ami from our forefathers wouldn't have done that, or wouldn't have acted in this particular way. It's amazing. Are we all together, brothers? Just sabili tamthil, I just want to show you something. You see a person from the early generation, there's no deen, they would free mix, for example. They would sit in one place, the men and the women would breathe. But there was somehow, the woman would get out of her hijab and she would shake the man's hand with her hijab, and there was a bit of now you find a person who's meant to be a talibu ilm, a student of knowledge, he will do things those people would never have done. So this issue is very serious. It comes back to a concept of tarbiyah at a very early age. When you're nurtured, when you're growing, one of the important things that parents need to do is akhlaq and nurture the child properly. Yeah, don't do this. There are things that when you see a person do, you don't know how to say to them, this is wrong. You don't know how to say to this person, it's wrong, because this is something you were raised as a child that it was wrong. And they're going to say to you, what's the dalil for it? Where's the ayah for it? Where's the hadith for this issue? This is seen bad. The people don't, this is not good. Are we all together, brothers? So the akhlaq and the adab is vital, Allah. Very, very important. Very, very important. Naam.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. قال الشاعر رحمه الله: تفت فؤادك الأيام فتى وتنحت جسمك الساعات نحتا.
The author rahimahullah, he started his kitab by saying تفت فؤادك الأيام فتى وتنحت جسمك الساعات نحتا. And some copies they say وتنحت جسمك الساعات نحتا. تفت فؤادك الأيام فتى means the days that are going by is weakening your body. These days that you see going by, and these minutes that are going by, and these moments that are going by, it's taking from your body. And this goes hand in hand with the statement of Hassan al-Basri. What did he say? إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ أَيَّامٍ فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ يَوْمُكَ ذَهَبَ بَعْضُكَ. You are days that came together. The human, you are, whatever age you are, that's what you are now. You're a component of time that came together. If some days go, then some of your body goes with it. So every day that goes by, he's saying to you, your body, your flesh, your body parts are going with it. You're becoming weaker as days go by. ولذلك Allah تبارك وتعالى, He told us in the Quran, Allah says in Surah Al-Rum, ayah 54, Allahu alladhi khalaqakum min ضعف. Allah created you from weakness. ثم جعل من بعد ضعف قوة. And then after that, the weakness, Allah gave you strength. Now you're strong. Now you're big, you're tough. But then what happens? ثم جعل من بعد قوة ضعفا وشيبة. After that strength that you had and that power and that ability you had, it goes back to weakness again. You see that same person who was once upon a time what? Strong and powerful, they are no longer like that. We all know a famous man by the name of Muhammad Ali. A man who, good boxer and strong and was tough. And when I was young, I used to like to read his biography. Many books I read on his life. The Lost Legacy and whatnot. A man who boxed his way through everything. True or false? Did he become stronger or did he become weaker? Rahimahullah. He was weak when he was dying. A little child can push him and he will fall. Are we all together, brothers? So strength goes and it will come to an end. ثم جعل من بعد قوة ضعفا وشيبة. The person will become weaker. نعم.
وتدعوك المنون دعاء صدق ألا يا صاحي أنت أريد أنت.
Death is calling onto you. وتدعوك المنون, death is calling you. And what is that saying to you? وتدعوك المنون دعاء صدق ألا يا صاحي أنت أريد أنت. Death is calling onto you and it's saying, you I want, no one else. No, don't look around. It's you I want. Because everybody thinks someone else is. No, it's you I've come for. It's you I'm going to take. Because some of the scholars, they mention a story of a man that the angel of death came to him. The story may not necessarily be authentic, but the concept is right. The meaning of the story, the gist, the moral of the story is right. The angel of death came to him. They say that the angel of death used to come to the people in the form of a human, or a form that the person can see the angel. And so the angel of death came to the man and he said, I'm here to take your life. And so the man said, why? I'm not ready. I am not ready right now. Why are you going to take my life for? Give me time. The angel of death said, okay, I'll give you time. The man said, I ask for one favor, that when you're coming next time, you let me know. The angel of death said, okay, I will do the second favor that you asked for. So the angel of death left. فَمَرَّتْ سَنَةً مِنَ السِّنِينَ. Years went by, time went by, and the angel of death came to the man. The man said to the angel of death, didn't I say to you, give me a sign when you're coming? He said, I did give you a sign. I took everyone around you. Took your neighbor, he's gone. Your friend has gone. Your brother has gone. Your parents are gone. I took all of the people around you. That was me telling you, I'm coming for you. If all of the fortress and the people around you are going, it's you. وَلِذَلِكَ the scholars, they used to say that death of a person is a lesson for the one who's alive, because the one who's going is going. When you see someone die, it's you who's being spoken to here. It's you that's being spoken to. And that is coming to all of us, wallahi. Wherever we hide, wherever we try to go, أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُوا يُدْرِكُمُ الْمَوْتُ وَلَوْ كُنْتُ فِي بُرُوجٍ مُشَيَّدَةٍ. Death will come to you even if you go into the highest building and you cover yourself in money and everything. Death will come to you. Allah says, قُلْ إِنَّ الْمَوْتَ الَّذِي تَفِرُّونَ مِنْهُ فَإِنَّهُ مُلَاقِيكُمْ. The death that you're trying to run away from. قُلْ إِنَّ الْمَوْتَ الَّذِي تَفِرُّونَ مِنْهُ. The death that you want to run away from and you want to ignore. فَإِنَّهُ مُلَاقِيكُمْ. It wants to meet you, and it will meet you. Whether you like it or not, it will take you. Now.
أراك تحب عرسا ذات خدر أبت طلاقها الأكياس بتا.
He said, Araka, I see you. Remember, this poetry, the scholars, they disputed and they discussed, who is he talking to? He's saying it to a person, Araka, I see you. Who is he speaking to? There are many opinions, like, and it seems like he's talking to a friend, childhood friend. Some scholars, they say that was his son. Like, from the context, when we go in, we will see that it was a childhood friend, a person they grew together. He said, Araka tuhibbu. And the man, his name is Abu Bakr. We're going to see it later. He's going to say, Aba Bakr, da'utuka law ajabta ila ma fi hadduka law aqalta ila ilmin takunu bi imaman muta'an in amarta wa in nahita. And he will say in another place, Aba Bakr, كشفت أقل عيبي وأكثره ومعظمه سترت فقل ما شئت في من المخازي وضاعفها فإنك قد صدقت. So it's a person who he grew up through childhood. He said, أراك, I see, أراك تحب عرسا. You love a woman. He's trying to compare the dunya to woman now. أراك تحب عرسا ذات خدر أبتها الطلاق الأكياس وبتها. I see that you love a woman. This woman, she is ذات خدر. ذات خدر means what? The Arabs, they used to love the woman that never used to leave the house. The woman who used to be in her inner chamber. A woman who's never exposed to the world. She's hidden from the eyes of men. No one sees her, no one lusts her, none of that. He said, I see that you're looking for. أراك تحب عرسا ذات خدر. I see that you're looking for a woman who is in her inner chamber. In other words, you're looking for the hidden things in this world. You want to unravel it. You want to bring it out and you want to enjoy it. Look what he said after that. أراك تحب عرسا ذات خدر أبت طلاقها الأكياس بتا. The wise men lacking, they have divorced that dunya, a divorce لا رجعة فيه. A divorce that you can't take that woman back. Pay attention. Here he says, أَبَتَّ طَلَاقَهَا الْأَكْيَاسُ بَتَّا. Abatta means they have refused and divorced and turned down this woman. The dunya here, the woman here is what? Is the dunya. How have they turned her down and how have they divorced her? Battan, the divorce, which is referred to بَيْنُونَةِ الْكُبْرَى, where when the man divorces the woman, he can't take her back. He can't what? He can't take her back. ولذلك الإمام النووي رحمه الله, he mentions in the beginning of his kitab رياض الصالحين a statement of Imam al-Shafi'i. Imam al-Shafi'i, he said, إن لله عبادا فطنا طلقوا الدنيا وخافوا الفتنا. From the slaves of Allah are إن لله عبادا فطنا. Allah has in this world noble, righteous slaves. Allah has that subhanahu wa ta'ala. What did those slaves do? إن لله عبادا فطنا طلقوا الدنيا. They divorced the dunya. وخافوا الفتنة. And they feared the fitna of this dunya. They feared it. نظروا فيها فلما علموا أنها ليست لحي وطنا جعلوها لجة واتخذوا صالح الأعمال فيها سفنا. They looked at this dunya and they observed it. And they looked around and how this world is. When they recognized the true reality of this world, and they came to know أنها ليست لحي وطنا, when they realized that the living man, the true man, the man who has ghira for his deen, he has no place to live in this world. There's no room for him. What did they do to this dunya then? جعلوها لجة واتخذوا صالح الأعمال فيها سفنا. They turned this whole universe and this whole world into a what? A boat which they want to get onto the other side of the land. I mean, they use this world to just accumulate righteous actions and just go to the other side, which is the Day of Judgment. Meet Allah with good deeds. So this statement of the author rahimahullah, أراك تحب عرسا ذات خدر أبت طلاقها الأكياس بتة, it goes in line with the statement of Imam Shafi'i that he mentioned rahimahullah ta'ala. It was narrated that Ali ibn Abi Talib in one day قبض على لحيته, he grabbed his beard. وبكى بكاء الحزين, and he cried the cry of a saddened person. And then he said, يا دنيا دنيا غري غيري, deceive other than me. Go deceive other people, don't deceive me. لا حاجة لي فيك, I have no need for you dunya, I don't want you. هيهات whatsoever. I have nothing at all I want from you, O dunya. He said to him, قد بنتك ثلاثا, I have divorced you 3. A divorce that I don't want to take you dunya. فعمرك, the time that is spent in you is very short. ومجلسك, and the sitting in your gathering is haqir, is very low. The gatherings where you're spoken about dunya is very low in my eyes. وخطرك يسير وخطرك كبير, and your dangers are very severe. And then he goes, من قلة زاد, but I'm sad that I have very little provision to take with me the Day of Judgment. He said, وَبُعْدُ السَّفَرِ, and the journey is very long. وَوَحْشَةُ الطَّرِيقِ, and I'm alone on that path by myself. So those are the great scholars, rahimahumullah. Na'am.
تنام الدهر ويحك في غتيت بها حتى إذا متنت بنتها.
He said, تنام, you sleep. He said, you sleep. تنام الدهر, you spend your life sleeping. Heedless, he means here. ويحك في غطيط, you're sleeping. You're just relaxed. And when you die, you become aware of what's happened. You wake up from your sleep. You're heedless about everything. نعم.
فكم ذا أنت مخدوع وحتى متى لا ترعوي عنها وحتى.
He said, فكم, for how long are you going to be deceived by this dunya? And how long are you going to be fooled by the glamours and the glitters of this dunya? When are you going to wake up and realize the true reality of this dunya? When are you going to wake up and get up from your sleep? Now.
أبا بكر دعوتك لو أجبت إلى ما فيه حظك لو عقلت.
He says, Abu Bakr, I have called you, I have advised you, I have spoken to you, if you obey. To what? إلى ما فيه حظك. I have called you to something that in it is great portion for you. That is, if you take heed of it, and if you take it serious, and you benefit from it. Meaning, I've advised you an advice of a mushfiq, a person who's concerned for you, a person who wants good for you. لو أجبتني إلى ذلك, if only you can accept that from me. نعم.
إلى علم تكون به إماما مطاعا إن نهيت وإن أمرت.
What I'm calling you to is, he said, إلى علم, I'm calling you to knowledge. تكون به إماما. In this knowledge, when you attain it, you're going to be a what? You're going to be an imam. You're going to be a leader. That's what you're going to become. The knowledge that he's speaking about here is the Islamic knowledge. You'll become a role model. Muta'an, you're going to be one who's obeyed. If you tell the people, do this, they'll do it. If you say don't do this, people say, okay, the Shaykh said don't do this. مُطَاعًا إِنْ أَمَرْتَ وَإِنْ نَهِيتَ. You will do it what the Shaykh says, right? So when he commands, if you learn this knowledge, when you command the people, they will listen to you. And when they what? When you prohibit them from something, they will stay away from it. وَلِذَلِكَ the scholars, they said that the alim, his words are taken and his statements are taken without any military or police to enforce it. So, a leader, he says something, and then if you don't do it, there's a punishment. Police is going to enforce it on his behalf, like in not the scholar. And that's why Allah said in the ayah, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا لَمَّا صَبَرُوا وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. Allah said we made them leaders. Allah made them leaders. When did Allah make them leaders? When they were a people who gained beneficial knowledge and righteous actions. Two things. Two things. When they gained, Allah said we made them imams. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا, guiding to our paths. How many things do they have to have? Two things. Beneficial knowledge and righteous action. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He made them leaders. The Prophet said in a hadith, مَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا. Anyone who Allah wants good for them, He makes them understand the religion. It's a sign that Allah loves you. Ibn al-Qayyim and Ibn Hajar, both of them said that the opposite is true. If you see Allah does not give you the knowledge of this deen, it's a sign that He doesn't love you. If you're deprived from this religion, understanding it and comprehending it, it's a sign that Allah does not want good for you. That's what they said. And if you see yourself excelling in Islamic knowledge, and remember when we say the Islamic knowledge, the deen, what do we mean? Ilman wa amalan. It means that your knowledge and your understanding is good and your actions are also good. If you see both of those are excelling, it's a sign Allah wants good for you, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah loves you. Allah is pleased with you. وَلِذَلِكَ, one of the statements that really touched me was the statement of Al-Imam al-Tufi rahimahullah. Al-Imam al-Tufi rahimahullah, he said that the way Allah chose the prophets, didn't Allah not say, Allahu a'lamu haythu yaj'alu risalata? Allah knows who He's going to make a prophet. He said that the way Allah chose prophets, He also chose those people He's going to give the knowledge of the deen to. They were chosen. They were selected from the rest of the people. The people of ilm are chosen by Allah. Not everyone is given this deen. Are we all together? And that's why Waki' ibn Jarrah al-Ru'asi, when Shafi'i complained to him, we're going to come to that later in more details, and he said, شَكَوْتُ إِلَى وَكِيعٍ بِسُوءِ حِفْظِي فَأَرْشَدَنِي إِلَى تَرْكِ الْمَعَاصِي وَقَالَ إِنَّ الْعِلْمَ نُورٌ وَنُورُ اللَّهِ لَا يُهْدَى لِعَاصِي. I complained to my teacher Waki' ibn Jarrah al-Ru'asi about how my memorization is weakening and how my learning is becoming not as it used to be. And then he told me, stay away from sins. Why? Because look, how can Allah give you this religion when you're going against what He's saying? It doesn't work like that. Are we all together, brothers? To be honored with this deen, you would have to what? You would have to please Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala and follow Him, and Allah will then honor you with the religion. وَلِذَلِكَ, some of the scholars, you know what they said? They said that the knowledge that is given to you, it is given to you, and then Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala waits to see whether you're going to implement it. And once you do, more is given to you. Just like a mother, when she places food in the child's mouth, she doesn't give him more until he swallows what's already been given to him. That has to go into his mouth and his stomach. After he's taken that food in, then a mother gives an extra food. And that's the same with knowledge of the deen. You've taken the previous knowledge that you've taken. Have you implemented it? No, you're not going to get more. Implement what was already given to you, and then you'll get more. Naam.
ويجلو ما بعينك من غشاها ويهديك الطريق إذا ضللت.
Knowledge will remove that which is covering your eyes. If there's something that's hiding things from you, knowledge will clear it for you. The beauty and the benefits of knowledge is that it shows you everything. You will realize what is it for you and what is it against you. Are we all together, brothers? If you don't have knowledge, you're a blind person. You know what you are? As the scholars they say, you are mayyitin inda mughassilin. You're like a dead body and a person is washing you. Sah, brothers. The sheikh is washing you. He's telling you go right. You don't know anything. So the jahil who doesn't have the deen and doesn't know anything is like that. He's like a dead body who is in front of the one that's washing him. He's moved, he's tossed around. You can't choose anything for yourself. Like when you gain knowledge, you learn what is for you and you learn what is against you. What are you allowed to do and what are you not allowed to do? Before that you are a what? You're in darkness. ظُلُمَاتٌ بَعْضُهَا فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ إِذَا أَخْرَجَ يَدَهُ لَمْ يَكَدْ يَرَاهَا. You're in darknesses upon darkness, that even if you stuck your hand out, you will not be able to reach what you're looking for. Hassan al-Basri said a very powerful statement. He said, لَوْلَا الْعِلْمُ. If it wasn't for knowledge, لَصَارَ النَّاسُ مِثْلَ الْبَهَائِمِ. The people will be like the cattle. The people will be like the what? Cattle. Pay attention here. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, which one did He ascribe to Himself? Because a lot of people say the difference between us and the animals is that we have aql, true or false? Huh? Okay. Did Allah ever refer to Himself as aqil in the Quran? Has Allah ever referred to Himself as aqil? Brothers, has He ever used that name for Himself? Has He ever attributed Himself to that? But has He ever referred to Himself as the one who knows, has ilm? Then ilm is higher than aql as well. It's a level higher than aql. Are we all together, brothers? It's a person who's wise and smart and has knowledge as well. Aql is, knowledge is higher. Knowledge is what? It's higher than aql. So if people lose knowledge, they are what? They're worse than the animals. Now.
وتحمل منه في ناديك تاجا ويكسوك الجمال إذا عريتا.
He said, rahimahullah, وتحمل منه في ناديك تاجا. In the gatherings, you will be considered a person who's carrying a crown. You're the leader of the people. You're not a leader, aslan, but everybody in that gathering will see you as the leader. This is what knowledge does for you. وَتَحْمِلُ مِنْهُ فِي نَادِيكَ تَاجًا. In the assemblies and in the gatherings, you're the one that's wearing the crown. You're the one that's risen. And that's what Allah said in the Quran. يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ. Allah raised the believers from the non-believers. And within the believers, who did He raise even more? يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Allah says that I raised the station of the people of knowledge. Their level is raised. The poet, he said, and the poet here is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib, and he said, مَنْ فَضْلُ إِلَّا لِأَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ إِنَّهُمُ. Virtue is for who? Except the people of knowledge. All of virtue is really for the people of knowledge. عَلَى الْهُدَى لِمَنِ اسْتَهْدَى أَدِلَّاءُ. They are ones that will guide you to the truth if you ask them for it. وَقِيمَةُ الْمَرْءِ. The virtue of a person is مَا قَدْ كَانَ يُحْسِنُهُ. In a person's virtue is connected to what he can perfect, what he knows. وَالْجَاهِلُونَ لِأَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ أَعْدَاءُ. And the people of ignorance, the greatest enemy that they have is the people of knowledge. Remember this, brothers. Remember this statement. A person who makes a cult and a group and makes the group follow him and abide by him, whenever a person of knowledge comes, he gets angry. Anyone who has understanding of the deen annoys him. Why? Because he's going to take that what? He's going to take that veil that's covering the people's eyes and he's going to show them the reality and the truth. This one doesn't want that. What does he want to do to the people? He wants to keep the people in darkness. Huh? Are we all together, brothers? He wants the group and the cult to be like that. So وَالْجَاهِلُونَ لِأَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ أَعْدَاءُ. All the time, all they speak about is those who are qualified, all those people of knowledge and understanding of the religion, they cross him out. Next one, cross him out. So who they want is those who have no knowledge. And one of the tendencies of people of ignorance is that they belittle sciences that are very important in the religion. They will belittle. You say to them, Akhi, study fiqh, or study aqidah, or study hadith, or study Uṣūl al-Fiqh, or study nahu, or sarf, or balagha. Study the sciences. Very good. It will help you, inshallah, to understand the deen. And he will say to you, why do we need it? It's not important. Automatically, you know he lacks that science. The reason why he's insulting that science is because he lacks it, he doesn't know it. The poet, he said, أَتَانَا أَنَّ سَهْلًا دَمَّ جَهْلًا عُلُومًا لَيْسَ يَعْرِفُهُنَّ سَهْلُ عُلُومًا لَوْ دَرَاهَا مَا قَلَاهَا وَلَكِنَّ الرِّضَى بِالْجَهْلِ سَهْلُ. There was a man called Sahal. That was his name. And the poet said, أَتَانَا, it has come to our attention, أَنَّ سَهْلًا دَمَّ جَهْلًا, that Sahal has rebuked the science, he's belittled the science and said this is, and he's praised ignorance of this science. عُلُومًا لَيْسَ يَعْرِفُهُنَّ سَهْلُ. It's sciences that Sahal doesn't know. That's why he's talking about it. عُلُومًا لَوْ دَرَاهَا مَا قَلَاهَا. It's science that if he was to know it, he would never have belittled it. And then the poet finished his line of poetry with something very funny, because he said, عُلُومًا لَيْسَ يَعْرِفُهُنَّ سَهْلُ عُلُومًا لَوْ دَرَاهَا مَا قَلَاهَا وَلَكِنَّ الرِّضَى بِالْجَهْلِ سَهْلُ. And to be pleased with ignorance is Sahal. It's easy. And his name was what? Sahal. And learning the science was easy for him. It was Sahal. But he doesn't follow his own name. Are you with me, brothers? So this is important. The people of knowledge, Allah gives them station and rank in the eyes of the people. They honor him, they respect him, and they admire him. Look at these great scholars that we know. I'll give you one prime example. Ata ibn Abi Rabah. Ata was from, and we have to understand the Arab culture. This is haqq, we have to mention this. The Arabs, they took, before Islam, slaves. They were slaves. And through the slavery that they took, different ethnicities and different people, like in Arabs, they had anafa for a black person to control them. Arrogance, stubbornness. Within Islam, Allah raised a people through their knowledge. Ata ibn Abi Rabah, it was said that he had a he didn't have a sit. He was the mufti of the haram, after Abdullah ibn Abbas. After Abdullah ibn Abbas died, the people used to come to Ata ibn Abi Rabah, and the leader Sulaiman ibn Abdul Aziz said no one's allowed to give fatwa except Ata ibn Abi Rabah. Rather, Sulaiman ibn Abdul Aziz himself, the leader, he sat with his children under Ata ibn Abi Rabah. Ata first of all prayed, and he finished his salah, and he said, Salamu alaikum, Salamu alaikum. And then Sulaiman ibn Abdul Aziz, Abdul Aziz ibn Malik ibn Marwan, he waited, a leader waited calmly for Ata to finish the salah. When Ata finished the salah, he said, I have a question regarding Hajj. He said, ask. When he finished asking the question, Ata responded, and as soon as he responded, Ata left him and went back to the halaqah and the dars that he had in the haram. Sulaiman, his children, they said, Dad, they're the sons of the leader. They said, Dad, why were we so humiliated in the presence of that man? And he said, did you see that what happened to us? And they said, Dad, we saw it. And then he said, that's what happens when you don't have knowledge of the Deen of Allah. This man has something that we can never buy. Allah raised him subhanahu wa ta'ala with the knowledge that he has. يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. We'll carry on after the salah inshallah ta'ala.